Okay, we are going to talk about our legal courtroom project today. So I'd like to take you up to Learning Plan 4, as it is in the middle. I think I nestled it right in the middle. There is no magic date as far as due dates on this assignment. I put it in the middle of the semester just to help you balance out the timing. But based on your schedule, if it can't be done prior to that date, just let me know and we will pick a date that will make it a little bit easier for you to manage. I just didn't want you to have everything due on the last date. In addition, I do have the discussion board related to that, so that's another reason why it's nice to have it done by the state so that you can participate appropriately in the discussion board. So if you can get it done by that date, great. If you need a little bit of an extension or to finish it up, let me know. So what you'll be doing is for this courtroom observation paper, you're going to observe 3 cases with as much variety as possible. So we don't always get that choice when you go to the courtroom. You really get what you get, but you could look at federal, state, criminal, civil cases, appellate, trial. You could use a tort case. You could use a drug court case. It could be a night court case or a teen court, depending on your area. Whatever you have that will work into your schedule will be perfect. I have that you should spend about 2 to 3 hours in court actively observing and analyzing cases. There's really a balance here. So if you get 3 really good cases and you're done in an hour and a half, great. If your 3 cases last 5 minutes each, probably not enough. So I want you to balance those 2 out. So observing 3 cases and spending 2 to 3 hours observing. So it'll be kind of a blend between those two. What you'll find is some court cases go by really fast and you don't get very much out of it, and I want you to be there long enough to get enough out so that you can finish the remainder of the project. So while you're observing the court cases, you'll be taking notes and remember as much as you can when you leave. So you want to take notes on the courtroom you were visiting, your impression of the building, who the court cases were involving, the name of the court, the judge, any of the participants, as many as you can catch. Some of them go very fast, so it's difficult. And then describe the case. A lot of people forget about this, but describe what was the case about, what was happening, what surprised you about the proceedings, what did you learn, what was your overall impression, what happened at the end. Those are all things to include in each of the cases. So your paper should be double spaced, 3 pages in length, and include those observations, okay? So if you observe 3 cases, they're 10 minutes each, you probably aren't going to get 3 pages out of it. You want to make sure that you get enough notes as possible to actually make this happen. It's 12-point font, double spaced, in basically a page on each of the court proceedings of what you see. Okay? In order to find out about the court cases that you have in your area, you would go to wisconsincourts.gov. And when you get to the site, you will select the I agree button here in the middle. And then you'll go up to the calendar because you're really looking for the calendar of the court cases. So when I click on calendar and court, I would click the county that I'm part of. So I'm part of Brown County, so I would go here. If you're part of Oconto, as an example, you could select Oconto and go. And then you get this date range. So this is today's date, and if I'd want to know what next week was about, I would just put 1 week out, and I'd select search. It'll make you type a little CAPTCHA. It's new. And now it'll bring you up a list of court cases. These do change, so they're not always the same day to day or week to week, but every day you go in, it might look a little bit different. So this is the court cases that'll be there. When you look at this list, you can see if there's no count underneath it, it is likely a tort case. So this is a case involving a civil suit between 2 parties. So this is Haja Corp versus Schrader Plumbing of Wisconsin, and it's probably something about maybe something that didn't happen with the job that they were supposed to do. Okay, so that would be an interesting case. Very difficult to find tort cases that you might have. The other things that you'll find is like this is a marriage case, so this is a different type of court case, so it's probably talking about assets and things like that. The other thing you'll see then is under count here, it says theft business setting. So this is state of Wisconsin versus Brandy. This is a criminal case. Okay. It'll show you about the time that it's going to start and the date and what type of activity it is: an arraignment, a due process hearing, a telephone conference. Telephone conference really probably isn't going to be very exciting. A scheduling conference, probably not very interesting either. Plea sentencing hearing might be interesting. A final hearing also might be interesting. So things to pay attention to. So if it's just a motion hearing, basically they're making a motion to delay or do something. They're probably not going to hear a lot of cases or facts in a motion hearing. This is another tort case, American Granite Company versus Shane Lazaro. So this will give you an idea. You can scroll all the way through. I ran it for a week, so it will go through next week. I think the 18th or the 19th. And it'll show everything that's in there. So that will give you an idea of the different cases. Another great way to find out what's happening in the court is to go to court and just ask, where would you recommend I sit and observe? And generally, whoever's working in the courthouse that day, they're very helpful about finding you a place. The judge may ask why you're there, so you just tell them that you're there observing for your business law class, and that is, they're just trying to make sure that you're not a witness that needs to be testifying, because they cannot usually be in court. And so they'll ask why you're there, what's the nature of your visit. If for some reason they ask you to leave, it might be related to a minor in a court case or something like that. And that wouldn't be anything that you did wrong, just that they just didn't want any outside influence, especially when it relates to minors. So just something to think about when you go in to visit. But this is where you would get that information. If you have any questions, please let me know.